So Kit has been here many times. He also is a 40k fan. The Zembro isn't, but the Zembro has a great outside perspective. He covers gaming news. You should totally check his channel down below. I tagged both of these guys in the description of the video. So Des, first let me come to you. Have you heard about what happened with the female Custodes? Because this is a huge scandal even if you don't follow Warhammer 40k.
Yeah, I think I heard about it. I saw some articles flying by Twitter a few weeks ago, something about adding women to the Custodes, like female space marines, basically, right?
Oh no, no. Female Custodes are totally different from Space Marines. The Custodes are the bodyguards of the Emperor of Mankind, which makes them the best warrior that mankind can offer. And the Astartes are basically a lot more mass-produced type of warriors that are super soldiers. They're very amazing, but in comparison with the Custodes are going to demolish them. The Custodes are the best of the best, the strongest of the strong. So
Yeah, a
for
simple way of breaking it down is like if one Space Marine is worth 100 guardsmen, one Custodes is worth 10,000 Space Marines.
God damn.
So they're like very powerful, and the Emperor is like an apex, psychic who can, has a lot of power, and they're the ones charged in protecting him. So it's these guys are a no joke.
yeah,
I
so
see.
basically, GW gave the best warriors of all mankind to the woke. That's what happened.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's what happened. I mean, for years there have been, rumors circulating, not like rumors, but more like speculation from the whole Warhammer community that GW are going to turn the Space Marines into female. But now actually they said very clearly that the Space Marines are going to remain only male, which is pretty good. But of course nobody believes them. But at least they said it, so we have it on tape. Um, so
It's like an
so
entry point.
mhm.
yeah, there's some parking going on. So Kit, you talk now.
All right, yeah, no problem. So when I heard the news about the Custodes, or at least women being now admitted into Custodes, I can't help but think of so much lore being broken. For example, you have the fact that in the lore, only the sons of the high lords or those of nobility, men, boys, could join the Custodes. I mean, that's what it was supposed to be, and this is a huge retcon. And the last time Games Workshop tried to, show a female Custodes, it was for an animated short and it failed miserably and it was dragged all across the internet because it made
Right.
no sense. And there was this hint that there were always women in the Custodes, that they were always there, but there's so much lore and books now that that this just flew under everybody's radar because everyone was under the idea the emperor, whether you like him or not, pro imperium, or against him, he had his plan with his super soldiers, which is if everything went to plan, he was going to eliminate them all. Look what he did to the Thunder Warriors. So the thing is, you know, he had an idea of just having it just only be one gender. It was going to be men who were going to be serving as Space Marines or as Custodes, and then the Primarchs too, and then he was going to eventually get rid of them. And that's my opinion. Anyone else can have his own their own thoughts here. But look what he did to the Thunder Wars. Do you really think the Space Marines, Custodes, and Primarchs were going to be around for the Emperor's grand vision? The answer is no, they were not. They were a shortcut, a fast forward button for him to fight his wars. And now the fact that you have these Custodes or female Custodes here, I'm just wondering, Games Workshop, were you not paying attention to Marvel, Star Wars, and Star Trek and how they are no longer the intellectual properties they once were because they are disrespecting decades of lore and disrespecting the fandom. Because if you want to lose money and you want to go broke and you no longer want to have a valuable intellectual property, then keep going on the path where you're going down. And plus, this is a spin in the face to, I think, in my opinion, many of the women players who, and writers, and those who are fans of Warhammer 40k, because you have the Sisters of Battle, the Sisters of Silence, and all the women characters from High Lords all the way down to regular guardswomen serving in the Imperial Guard who have stories of triumphs, victories, and feats of strength that can match up to any other male character, be it villainous or protagonist. They have their stories, and now why are we putting in female Custodes in? For this weird idea of empowerment, for this weird idea of you're going to sell a product. Who's going to buy the product? Miniature again. Who's going to buy the product? Game
Right.
stuff. Have you forgotten the people who buy your product? Okay, there's people who play games, people read the books, and the casual fans. But talking about the miniatures, who buys your product and will this product sell? And the answer is most likely no one's going to really buy this unless it's out of curiosity or just to crap on it. That's it. So what's the big message here? What are you trying to do here to a fandom and series and fandom and community that's pretty much getting the middle finger, because this is the first time Games Workshop decided to give a middle finger to the fandom. Most notably, look what happened to all the Warhammer 40k content creators. There's a reason why we don't have text to speech device anymore, because of the great crusade of censorship that GW put upon the fandom. So this is a huge insult. Everyone should be used to it. But I almost forgot to add in Doctor Who, also a fandom that left around by the writers and creators of Doctor Who,
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars, Star Trek. So, GW, if you didn't learn from them, and clearly there's a lot of examples of failure, then okay, keep going down this way and people will move away. People will find something else to entertain them. People will spend their money on a business that respects them. The key word is respect. Now, I know there's a lot of fans out there that may be overzealous, be like, I know more, everything else. Well, yeah, you get that. You get the unhinged people. But vast majority of normal people like a series or things to make sense. And of course, you have to move the story along. We got the Primarchs back, but female Custodes coming in. What's next? The unknown Primarchs, the second and 11th, were women. Is that it? Is that where we're going down now?
I
Because I
wouldn't be
could see them being
surprised.
that stupid.
I wouldn't be surprised, but hold that thought, please. The
Hmm.
Pontius actually is here. Hi, Pontius. He says the fact female custodies are also artificially evolved and not created means that canonically, with both men and women, they can reproduce. One thing that the Emperor was always afraid of.
Thank you. If I can add on to that, because and again, Pontiff, you can correct me and say that I'm wrong. All right, I'm willing to bet 99% I'm wrong on this. But in my opinion, my theory, the other reason why the Emperor got rid of the Thunder Warriors, he couldn't control them, and also there's a possibility that they could breed. Because remember, the Thunder Warriors were very psycho, and he did not want the Thunder Warriors to, commit crimes. Let's face it, the Emperor was doing a genocide across the Great Crusade. I mean, whether you like it or not, and that means war crimes were done. And I know that the Emperor had a hard time controlling the Thunder Warriors. And the fact that, okay, female Custodes can be around, that means, okay, you're having this mutant subspecies, which the Emperor didn't want. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Also, a minimal effort is here. Hi, Thibaut. Greetings, Mr. YouTube. Hi guys, the Weeping Hero as well. Yes, Mike, not Mike. Sorry. Yes, I saw my mic levels. That is because I'm also in Streamyard and always lowers my mic. But yeah, minimal effort knows what's up. So, how do you feel about this Decembro? If this happened to a universe that you love, considering what you now know about the nature of female custodians and how bad this is from the outside perspective?
Yeah, I mean it's something that we when it comes to the lore of this, like I don't know much about it. I've always been fascinated by it, but yeah, the core of why they're changing it, it always comes from something where they just don't care about making money anymore.
Yeah.
Like I see this as it's been happening a lot across so many other franchises in entertainment, regardless of if we're talking about gaming, comics, or movies or TV shows. It's just this incredibly annoying activism where all business sense and all respect for the identity of the franchises are tossed aside for like social impact nonsense. It's all a part of just making it all a part of the same machine that comes out with re- just ridiculous data reports I talked about recently in a video from the ESA that, for example, claims that when it comes to gamers, we are nearly a perfect 50-50 split down the middle between men and women, while at the same time making the claim that more than half of us worldwide are gaming on mobile devices, not PC, not console, just mobile devices. It's all pure bullshit. They take all the iPad moms out there, they take all the parents who have these little mobile games on their phones, either for themselves or for hanging out like at a coffee shop or taking the bus or even for their kids, like to keep their kids quiet. And then they go, okay, guys, so let's take this data and let's apply it to the Warhammer franchise because of, I mean, obviously the demographics by the ESA claim that these things need changing. I mean, look at the demographics. The data shows that there's a wide audience of women and soy boys out there just getting ready to get into Warhammer. If
Hmm.
only we go ahead and change lore and content. And honestly, it's not even just that. Like, I'm sorry for renting out a little bit, but I think that it's also out of spite. I
Yeah.
think they also have like they need to have these wins because we've seen so many people in the games industry specifically, which is what I can speak more to. But I think that if you go looking at Disney, you can find it there too. They
Hmm.
aren't in the fan. They aren't in it for the fandom or even for the business. They're doing this just to fuck with us. Like you look at constant like consultant groups, for example,
Yeah.
like Sweet Baby Inc. or Hit Detection or the
Mhm.
BGG, Black Girl Gamers, who consulted for the failure that was it's goddamn Forspoken, and they really just want to shatter the status quo. They want to defy the things that we have and that we've enjoyed, and they want to say,
Mhm.
no, this is no longer a boys' club. Now it's everyone's club except your club. Like it's not even about inclusion, in my opinion. It's about excluding what was there originally.
And actually, I would also add on to this. This is also could be producers, directors, and writers that lack talent or imagination or have no idea how to tell an original story. So they want to tell their story through a surviving intellectual property that is known to bring in money. So all
Yeah,
these
yeah,
failed
yeah.
stories that we see, they're really supposed to be something else. The writer wants to write their own story. Like in my opinion, for example, a little bit off topic here, but Star Trek Academy, I think that was supposed to be like some sort of space adventure kind of story, but because probably no one wants to spend money and lose it, even though Star Trek's losing money now, because there's no way that IP is now dead because of Academy. Um, they use the Star Trek name. Boom, now female
Yeah.
Custodes.
I
But
think you're absolutely right about that. I think that happens a lot. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
and now
hijacking. Yeah,
and
they're
now
hijacking whatever they want. They just interject their stuff in it. It's literally like I'm gonna kidnap this universe and I'm going to put
yep,
my stuff in it, and you have to
yep.
like it because or else, you know.
Yep.
Hmm.
It's spot on. So with female custodies, I'm like, okay, well, where are the brothers of battle? Because we got sisters of battle. Are we gonna have brothers of silence, sisters of silence? I mean, what about all these great women characters that do not need to be out these roided out muscle mommies? I mean, you're gonna have a small batch of people who are like, oh, a female custodies, oh, they'll goon to it. Okay, great, go ahead and goon to it, but we won't waste our time to it. I mean, there's plenty of deviant art out there that people can watch and do to. But like at the end of the day, Games Workshop, you're supposed to be a business, right? You got a lot of people coming in, checking out the Lion, returning back, Gilliman and the Lion finally meeting. You got the success of Space Marine 2, the game. You have people who are interested in, dare I say it, Henry Cavill's project for Warhammer 40k. You got the remnants of a community that still does Warhammer animations and video work on YouTube. God forbid they get terminated or anything like that, but you have a fandom that loves and respects the property and what it means to the community. But now you got these people, consulting groups and business people, making dumb decisions, trying to upend the lore by saying, "Oh, well, women can always be custodies." Well, I guess the Sisters of Battles, no more, not good. Sisters of Silence, f off. Oh, women guardsmen facing off against universal Cthulhu-like galactic horrors and surviving it. Probably mentally scarred, but surviving it, means nothing. We got a superhero golden woman from I don't know
It
what.
looks just like a man and
Yeah,
basically defeats
I
all
mean
the
that's nothing
purpose of his
attractive about it.
representation
Nothing
to begin
attractive
with
about it
because they're all
whatsoever.
men. I mean, they look like men, so it doesn't matter. They count for female. They still look like men. I mean, the commonality of all wokeness is that it destroys femininity and it destroys real representation of women. Like true representation would be only if the woman is actually a woman, looks like
Yeah,
woman, it's sexy, it's beautiful, she's smart,
yeah,
she's cunning, whatever, she has real qualities. She doesn't need to diminish men so she can
yeah.
look better. She is good on her own and the main characters are good on their own and they both shine in their own separate ways like they should. So that's real representation and real character. And anything that we see today is just absolute spit. I mean, they're spitting on men and women alike. So it's
Mhm.
just horrible. And I just want to actually read some of the comments because they're pretty spot on. Minimal effort, Tebow says. And As an outsider to Warhammer, anytime there is a retcon and drastically changes lore, it's never done from respect for the fans, it's always agenda driven, of course. Oh, and mobile gamers aren't gamers. Of course, they're not. I mean, my mom plays games on mobile, and she's not a gamer. She has no idea what I do. So, yeah, definitely, of course, no. And I don't play mobile games at all, as a real gamer as well. And the Pontius says there is very simple problem with all the reasoning about diversity. Women normally aren't really into nerdy stuff, especially if it revolves around war and slaughter like 40k. Well, yeah, I am the exception.
Yeah,
I'm
there
aware of
are
that.
exceptions to the rule.
I'm aware of that. I am the exception. And girls that usually are nerdy and they like these stuff, there are very few of them. First and second, they do not look like me. They look like the typical bookworm. So I'm very much the exception. Pontus also says it's the reality of mentality. They simply aren't as much as men. Yes, absolutely. I totally
Mhm.
agree with that. I mean, I have nothing in common with my friends that are female. I have everything in common with my guy friends, but I have nothing in common with my female friends. They're way too simple for, for me, and they have no interests at all, not even movies actually, which is pretty sad. So that is like the common girl usually. She just doesn't care. She just cares about maybe romantic stuff once in a while in some books, but that's it. She doesn't care about anything else. They don't even know what movies are playing in the theater. I have to tell them, hey, this movie is pretty cool. Would you like to come with me and my friends? And she's like, eh? What? I mean,
Mhm.
no clue. Let alone games, let alone Warhammer. Like, what the heck is that? It's like literally another universe for them. Just a bit more with the comments, guys, and then we continue. The Pontia says there is exceptions, but a hobby like this will always be mainly populated by men. It's normality. Yes,
Mhm.
of course, it's just normal for men to be driven. I mean, to be attracted to this. For me, it's normal for me, but that's me. I
Mhm.
grew up with action movies and Arnold Schwarzenegger, so you know. And I always love men toys. I mean, cars and action figures. I don't like dolls, so just how I am. And in the meantime, I'm also, normal at the same time, and not a lesbian or anything like that. And Thibault says, no, no, Thibault Martin says it has brought more women into the hobby. It hasn't. Yeah, it hasn't exactly. That's just great points that I also want to talk about. So the comments are just great right now, because yeah, if a woman is a geek, and I say that many times, if she's a real geek like me, she's gonna be attracted to such things, to the manly things, because like the first
Mhm.
time that I saw Warhammer, it was the project Astartes. That's the Sayama Pedersen animation on YouTube, and that was like to me the moment of the it factor for me. I saw everything there on the screen, so it's gonna click. It's gonna be there. If you're a geek, you're a geek. That's it.
Yeah, like if
Give
you
it
like something, you like something.
Right.
exactly,
See,
exactly.
but here's the thing. It's like you're sitting down. You're trying to enjoy your hobby, and look, we've all had some iteration of this where your parents bring, hey, here's your little cousin, here's your little sister or brother. Make sure you include them in the thing, and you're like, clearly there's an age difference, and the person now brought into this new environment, like, well, what is this? What am I supposed to care about? Like Games Workshop, you're a business. You make miniatures, and thankfully, there's a lot of books, board games, video games, movies, videos, channels, unless you terminate them, GW, you crazy nutcases. Why are you spitting in your fans' faces? They're not making a profit off. They're doing it out of love. You know, you do this, you want to lose the money, fine, but that means whatever goodwill you're going to be owed to by a corporation. And that seems to be the case. Find something, gut it out, make it a husk of what it used to be, then move on to the next thing. It's very parasitic in regards to trying to push an agenda of women custodians. And again, people might say, well, oh, you're complaining about something that has no power over you. Well, actually, these are our modern day mythos, our fun things, our escapism. Keyword is escapism. I'm leaving the real world for a few minutes, maybe an hour, to go into a different dimension and not worry about the average day politics or other BS, work, family, or other nightmares that I'm going through so I can escape for at least a few minutes, an hour to enjoy my time and not deal with agenda or politics left or right in my face. I'm going to Warhammer 40k because I want to see unending slaughter and good stories and of a grim dark universe that I'm thanking God I'm not born in. If I want to go to Star Trek, original Star Trek by the way, then I'm going to go there to enjoy real thought provoking science fiction, Star Wars, and everything else in between. And so this custody, these female custodies, they were always here. That means all the books. Now what? We got to miss that out now. We got to re-edit that now. What is the whole story here? Because who's buying it? Show me the numbers of the people who wanted this. Show me the messages. But they're doing this so they get the clicks and views on articles, and so that the bots can feed into it. Because we all know that the algorithm now, be it on X, TikTok, YouTube, there's always going to be those bots that are going to be viewing up a magazine or a story about, oh, female custodies and these people don't like it. Well, okay, show me the names, show me the people, show me the petition that wanted something like this. Who was the board of directors that gave this a green light? Who thought this was a green light? Is it going to bring in money? Because obviously they're not paying attention. Because there's going to be a point to where, okay, fine, people will move on. I mean, why do you think Space King is so popular? Why do you think after the female custodies came out, the meme of "No girls allowed" said by the captain from Space King has become so relevant? It's because, if you're going to push people out, push them away, disrespect the lore, disrespect their time and investment and money, then they will F off. And
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and it's been done before.
But once again, it's not even about the gender of anybody. It's about that principle is broken. So if this was the opposite way around, and, and if they wanted to interject women in Sisters of Battle or Silence, everybody are going to make the same amount of noise. So it's
Hmm.
about principles that you should never break. And no girls allowed thing is just means literally you shouldn't change this. It's about having
Hmm.
women, but it's not about women. It's about
Yeah, right.
changing
Agreed.
something. You know.
Agreed. And let me just clarify. Like, look, there's a lot of great Warhammer 40k, women who do content creation. I mean, you are one of them who does a lot of great stuff. You respect the lore, your opinion about and certain projects or whatever. I mean, but you added in there because you invested your time and money into it. And I think this is a real big middle finger to the women of Warhammer 40k. It's not just the
Oh yeah.
men, but to the women too, because I don't think there's a lot of women in the Warhammer 40k property that are like, oh, I want this. I mean, there might be one that might be interested to buy it and look at it and say like, this is a crappy model, and then that's it. They
Oh
give the
no.
review.
For
But
me,
I mean,
it's
I don't,
horrible.
I don't
Yeah.
think so, because I think there's a lot of loyalty towards Sister Battle, Sisters of Silence, and so like I think if anything, the women of Warhammer 40k, the fans, or use it those who do content creation, should be like, hey, why are you doing this? I did not ask for this. This doesn't represent me, and you're disrespecting the other fandom that respects this product. I mean, you're a business, you're a corporation, but I saw somebody say, well, they're too arrogant. Well, their arrogance will be their downfall. They didn't
Yeah.
pay attention to who Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel. Well, then they're going to learn the hard lesson.
Yeah.
And if
It's
they don't
very
Absolutely.
care,
annoying when they bring out the "why do you care" card, when they try to like diminish the value that you have for these properties, in this case for Warhammer, with this argument of like, why do you care? They're trying to basically embarrass you, like, oh my god, you care about a small change, like who cares about all these old books? Oh my god, you're so embarrassing. This is the type of shit that it's where you can clearly see the way that they expose themselves. Like nothing exposes these people more than that, because you are literally basically saying that the people in charge of your franchise are people who don't care enough about it, people who are willing to tell you that if you do care, then you're just weird. If you don't care about the thing that you're working on, what's the point?
exactly, exactly. And the thing is, there has to be a care, but if the business doesn't care, then it tells me, the consumer, then I should not invest a single red penny to your business. And if there's people out there that think they could write a better story, well, Hollywood's going broke. And across the United States, there's a slow uptick, nothing happening yet, of other cities doing their own quasi small studio or anything else. So if all that's going to go belly up and blown up, then fine. If this is the end of our modern day mythos, it's a tragedy, but it should, I'm going to be careful with this word here, but it should reinforce the concept of gatekeeping.
Oh
All
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
For
It
sure.
should reinforce it. And I'm not just saying like, hey, don't let anyone in. But when it comes down to gatekeepers now, or new intellectual properties, they'll rise up. Take, for example, Space King, right? The two creators there, Tom and Don, right? They're saying that, women can't become, warriors for Space King. and they're making it clear they're going to gatekeep on it, and it's their property. And at least allegedly, I think in a video, a streaming service wanted to buy them and they have their show, but they wanted to make some changes to which they said F off. Now, I don't know how much money they were probably given or potentially could have negotiated for, but I mean, that says a lot now. And especially if you're going to be a new creator creating a new intellectual property, yeah, there's a thing of having clause, gatekeeping, protecting the product. I mean, look what happens to Tolkien estate, for example, and look where Tolkien's at. Look where Lord of the Rings is at. They're trying to recreate the Mona Lisa. Well, you can't. It's almost equivalent to where you had that poor old woman who tried to restore I think 14th century or 16th century picture of Jesus Christ, and it looks like a space alien. I probably got the century wrong there, and I do apologize, but I mean, that's what we're seeing here. People trying to recreate the Mona Lisa, and what we get is something deformed and ugly.
Jesus Christ.
Gatekeeping became this demonized word, right? It was this ugly thing over the past few years where if you did something or you said something that didn't go in line with their terms, it was like, oh, you're just gatekeeping. You're gatekeep. We shouldn't gatekeep. But the more we see these people in charge, whichever it is, comics, DC, Hollywood, Disney, whatever it may be, even in video games, of course, which we're seeing a lot of like AAA games and AAA studios going down, the more it makes me want to gatekeep, the more it makes me want to bring that word back, bring the old sense of it back, where it's like, you're, like you said, you're protecting something. You're not. Like these things are open. Like this is a thing that really bothers me because it's a narrative that they use where it's like, for years, people of X demographic were not allowed or not allowed, but not given the attention that they, I don't know, I guess they perceive that they deserved or whatever. Like for example, if you are a girl, then you need to have female custodies in whatever franchises it was. And in reality, it really wasn't that way. Like the Empress is a fan of this stuff. There's nobody at the door not allowing her to get in. There's nobody at any door really of any franchise saying, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! Where are you going? You can't get in here. You can't join the fun. You can't be a fan of Fallout or anything like that.
Agreed.
You can get in, you join, you if you enjoy the content, that's it. The gatekeeping really comes in when you join, and then you go, well, why isn't this like this? It would be so much better if we changed all of these things to accommodate all of these other people who don't like this thing. Like, well, if they don't like it, forget about them.
Yeah, I mean,
Agreed.
there's only one question at the gate. You ask, do you want to change this lore, my good sir, or stupid, whatever you are? And if they
Hmm.
say yes, then you say, well, I'm gonna purge you then. Get out of here. But if
Hmm.
they say no, I just wanna enjoy it like it is, like it's meant to be, then you can come in, my good sir. So yeah.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing too, because at least for a while, GW was protecting its lore. It was something very important, at least to the people who could have been in charge or were around. I mean, it's important to note, like, okay, well, who's laying the guard down? Who is deciding to be like, all right, we're gonna upend everything. It's this mindset that we're seeing from people in Hollywood and entertainment trying to find the next thing to feed off of because it's very parasitic. And it tells me that there's uncreative minds, and there always have been. I mean, people like Nerd Erotic or some dude on YouTube, or other people, who are pointing this out, like, "Hey, look, Hollywood, you destroyed these intellectual properties, and you're blaming us or anyone else that we're being toxic and mean. Like, no, we're not being toxic and mean, but you're telling us to F off. And now, because those properties are dead and they are dead, maybe Star Wars has a chance to come back. And I'm being generous with those words, very generous. They're looking elsewhere and they're looking to Japan and manga. Well, look at comic book sales here in the USA, and then look at manga sales in the in Japan. The reason why those series have been so successful is because it's been an ongoing, continuous story arc. There was never a retcon or a reset or a new rewind thing, because with Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, the X-Men, you don't really know what the current lore is, what's the current timeline or story with everything, because everything's been reset over and over again, and they're looking for, like, for example, in anime, they're trying to, I don't know, rewrite, recreate, regender, remake characters. When if you look at the manga,
Hmm.
it's like, no, this book in this chapter 77, for example, this character was doing this, and this character was a guy, not a girl. What's wrong with you? It's it is uncreative people who are parasitic, who have something to prove. nepotism, and also because maybe there's just like the fact of, well, if I can't have my idea, I'm going to
Yeah.
destroy your thing.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. There's just awesome comment in the comments by Thibaut. He says, first time I went to a friend's house and there was a hot girl playing video games. I was like, this is awesome.
And that's
And
great.
yeah, I
That's
mean
great.
that's
That's
exactly
what
what
it's
I
all
was doing.
about.
I was at a friend's house playing Mortal Kombat. The next comment, with my boyfriend kinda at the time. So it was super cool. And then we both beat the crap out of each other on Mortal Kombat. I mean, he won, I won as well. So it was so good. Uh, yeah, I'm just yeah. Comments are great, guys. And the other comment that I just want to address is about the fact that women and men are different, says Thibaut. Biologically, women want to be represented or whatever. I don't think so. I never, I never met a normal person who wanted to be represented in anything because it just doesn't cross your mind. It doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. It just doesn't cross your mind at all ever
Hmm.
to be represented in any kind of a way. You just see people on the screen, they're people, and you relate to them if they're written well. So as I said before,
Yeah.
relatability is about the human factor, it's not about the gender. So that's
You
it.
Yeah,
know,
my girlfriend relates to that as well. What she doesn't like is when she is misrepresented by people who claim to know what it is to represent someone. So basically, these people trying to change female characters and make them uglier, faking as if they're doing it to represent real women. That's what she doesn't like, because otherwise she doesn't seek to be represented in games either or anything like that. She likes the character designs that I like, character designs that look good, that she enjoys. What she hates is when, for example, um I mean, shit. Oh, for example, the Dove thing, right? The Dove did this thing where this partnership with Epic Games where they said that 70% of female gamers, give or take like 60 to 70% of female gamers, do not feel represented by the female characters that exist in gaming. And so then they propose these new designs that should represent all of the real female gamers out there, the real beauty that females have. And it was essentially a group of I'm not lying, by the way, this is real. So a group of fat disabled white women. Oh, and one black woman who was albino, so she wasn't even black in the end. But
Oh
I,
my god.
so that's the kind of shit that pisses her off, because it's like, I know better than you. I'm going to represent you. No, you don't know what you're talking about. You want women to look like Triss Marigold and Yennefer in The Witcher 3? No, you don't want that. What you want is this. That's
mhm.
what she hates as a female gamer.
Yeah,
Let's talk
sure,
about
of
representation
course. I
too,
mean,
or relating to a character. Sorry, go ahead, go ahead. I didn't mean
yeah,
to interrupt.
I mean, I meant that as we established before, I do not exist. So here we go. And
No, I was agreeing with you with your point. Your point is, you don't need to feel represented.
yeah.
Like, you don't have that. You play a game and you just play a game, and that's normal.
Yeah, I mean, today I
It's how
played Kingdoms
most
of
people feel,
Amalur,
I think.
and I don't even think that there's a female option there. And I don't care. I just made it like the biggest, most muscular, manly character that I could make in that game, and I just went on with my gaming. So yeah, it was great. That's what I
And
usually
even when
like to
it
see.
comes to female characters, like, one thing that I usually do for my videos when I discuss this matter is I take a few minutes, I go to Facebook, and I find a group for an RPG like Baldur's Gate 3 or Dragon Age or Skyrim, etc. And I look at the female characters that female gamers create. No, not a single one of them is ugly.
Yeah, they want to look pretty.
What a
That's the key
shocker.
word.
Yeah.
Or and the thing is, it's about also relating to a character too. If you could relate to a character, you're it doesn't matter. Like for example, um, Benjamin Sisko is one of my favorite Star Trek captains. Okay, I can relate to him more than Kirk or Picard. And yes, Kirk and Picard are heavyweights in that universe. But with Cisco, I can relate to him because we see him with the trauma of losing a horrific battle. His wife dies. He has to take care of his son, and then he's put in command of a station that's in the middle of a war zone. And we see him rise through the ranks and also from a commander to a captain, but we also see him navigate being a father, having values, and trying to, maintain control. I'm like, wow, this guy's got a lot on his plate and he has to maintain this. And then he finds a love again and has a chance of being a parent again, too. And Benjamin Sisko, he's portrayed by an African American man, but I could relate to the captain because I could feel like, okay, and watching as a kid, I could relate to him more. I felt more of a connection to that character than with Kirk or Picard because, you know, yes, they talk about family and legacy, but you don't really see it. Well, with Cisco, I was able to connect to that, or even with other games too. It doesn't. If the story is good, I as a male can relate to a character. In Alien or in Aliens 2, and even in Terminator 1 and 2, I'm afraid for Sarah Connor in the Terminator series, and I'm afraid for Ellen Ripley in Aliens 1 and 2, because this is a character facing an overwhelming challenge, but it's like, I'd probably be acting the same way too, being a little afraid, facing off against something that could rip me apart 5,000 ways. It's about relatability, good storytelling, and good characters. Just because you have a female Custodes in power armor, what? Okay, I know what Custodes can do.
I
Like
mean,
they don't leave the palace. They don't leave the palace. They guard the emperor unless they're on a special assignment.
yeah,
But
and
these
besides
these,
that,
these, these are big characters.
nobody can relate to the female custodies, no man or woman, because they're
No,
neither. They're
yeah,
nothing. And that's the worst part because they disrespect both female and male, whatever it is, just by existing. And that's just one of the worst things that you can have as a character. They
mhm,
totally don't have any purpose. And actually, Warhammer, Archcast now, recently made a video calculating how many male custodies are lost because of the noble houses taking also females to make custodies. Because if one woman can have at least 3 children during her lifetime, and let's say that this is not forced upon her, but she just has at least 3, then those are 3 potential custodies that you can have. But now you can only have one woman as a custody. So that just doesn't make sense for the Imperium because it's hard enough to make a custody. They can only make one every thousands, hundreds, whatever of years. It depends. And it's a huge kept secret in the Imperium. Only the Emperor knows it, and whoever makes them now when he's not there to
mhm,
facilitate it directly. So it's a it's the most rare gem of a warrior that you can create, and they decide to take this away from women, to take this
yeah,
opportunity from women, and just create this life for them where they can just get slaughtered one day instead of maybe have a choice and become a mother and produce more female custodies. I mean, custodies, sorry. This female thing is just just a horrible thing that just gets in the tongue like all the time now these days. But yeah, I mean, maybe the woman can have kids, maybe not. But when they
yeah,
take her and they put her, I mean, they make her be a custody, they take this choice out of her life forever, and they also destroy the opportunities for them to be um, a mom. So it's crazy. Oh, and Ponte says something to me. If you remember in my YouTube video, I literally made the diagram. Oh, yes, yes, there was something like that. Yeah,
hmm And
I gotta watch it again. But yes, I mean, there's so many arguments against female custodies, and there's not like one logical argument that is deprived from emotion that is for female custodies. Everything is based on emotion and based on some kind of a appeal to triviality, like, oh, it doesn't matter, why do you care, or something else that just doesn't make any sense. The only thing to make sense of it, quotation marks, if you are led by emotion but not by intelligence or logic or reason.
there's another thing too. Speaking of with this female custodian, because I'm very curious now about the storytelling and how mediocre it will be. To the writers of Games Workshop, to the people who are pushing this idea, what story are you going to tell? Because these are superhuman soldiers, and it takes a lot for an audience member to really react and connect to them. Like even with Space Marines, yes, they're human, but the thing is, the transformation to become a space marine or even become a custodes is taxing, it's mutilation, and this is going to be taken out of context, but I don't want to see a woman go through that. And yes, it means, well, what about the guys? Yes, no man should go through this kind of horrific transformation, but this is a high honor at least you're dying for the emperor, but it's a lot of mutilation to what makes us human. Okay. And I don't like the idea of a woman going through that process. I mean, there's enough horror in Warhammer 40k. I don't really want to think about it because it's like, I don't want, I don't want to see that kind of scream or pain happening. Again, no one should go through this. But at the same time, too, let's look at the mindset of these super soldiers, okay? I don't know what novel this is, so the Pontiff, you might have to correct
Ashes
me
of
on.
the Imperium is the
Yeah.
first big 40k novel.
Okay.
I'm still on it. That there's a scene, a whole scene with the female Custodes. She is represented guarding Gilliman, the Primarch. You know,
What?
this is in 30k. Yes, I have a whole stream about it with this whole snippet of the book in audio format, so you can actually hear it directly. And she's guarding him. She's described as having dark face, and she's talking to this guy. I'm not sure who that guy was. I forgot. Anyway, she's talking to this guy, and she is even breaking her facade. She's described as breaking her stoic facade because she's so upset that the emperor is on the golden throne. So basically, they made her emotional, which is crazy because because this is even worse. They're saying that the woman custody is now emotional, and custodians are not supposed to be emotional in the first place. But by making her also a woman, they're saying that she's emotional. I mean, this is like such a cliche, and it's so insulting. It's so insulting by all accounts. It's insulting to the custodians, to the lord, to women, to whatever you can just name it. It's insulting. So yeah, you have to hear that part of the book.
Okay,
Uh,
I think that's the dumbest thing ever, and whoever wrote that deserves to get slapped in the mouth very hard, and either that needs to get curb stomped. I don't encourage violence. No, I take it back. I take it back. But
you're gonna hate it so
okay,
much.
it's just no. I only can take so much because there's a scene. I forget which book this is from, but there's the Pontiff could probably correct me on it. But when the Night Lords were still loyal to the Imperium, there's a woman in the crowd, and the Bardies, the what's the law force for the Imperium, the Arbites, right?
RBTs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're trying to push people back, but this one woman comes up to this one space marine, the Night Lord, and she's pounding on his chest and she's speaking a language he doesn't understand. More or less, it's like it's you. They told me you were dead. I knew it. You're alive. You're alive. Don't you remember me? And boom, she gets shot in the head. Space Marine doesn't think about it, but the brother next to him says,
Damn.
"Hey, how come you didn't recognize your own mother?"
Oh
And then
God.
and then they move on. So Games Workshop, Space Marines and Custodes, yes, they're human, but they're not going to be emotional. Each one's going
Mm,
to have their own perspective, point of view. They look at humans as strange, right? Some Space Marines understand about human nature, okay? Others do not. So these superhuman soldiers that are technically gods, demigods, to be more correct, it's what compelling story. And at least since this is true now, apparently there was a female Custodes losing composure.
Yeah.
The Emperor's own bodyguard.
Yeah. Exactly.
They're they don't have it. They're not. They are us, but they are not us. They never lose composure. Okay, the only time they lost composure, I don't want to spoil it, but it's during the Horus heresy upon Horus's ship. That's the only time like they realized what happened to them. So I don't want to break any lore about that or ruin any spoilers for that. But it's like the Custodes, them losing. When the hell? Even the Chaos Gods are like, what? Even Zeech is caught off guard with that. Zeech would be like, I didn't do this, and I'm not lying. I didn't do this.
I mean,
What
they
is
wanted to make it more dramatic, but all they make, oh, I mean, this is just wrong. Like, it's wrong. It doesn't matter what the author wanted. It's wrong. It's like you don't know 40k. Why are you writing this book? Why are you doing? What are you doing, man? Okay. Anyway, guys, so we gotta give something to the Zembro. We do have other topics as well. Um, thanks, Martin, in the comments. And yeah, we do have games to discuss as well. So, December, there's a big fat scandal about the game that just came out. Highguard. Did you play it? Did you play it?
yeah, I've been playing it a little bit here and there sometimes, but yeah, not very much.
What do you think so far? I mean, the game has horrible perception so far. Like, gamers just actually play it and they don't play it because it's horrible in many ways. But yeah, what is your first impression?
There's been a lot of people who just tried the game, and they just didn't like it, and it's been my experience as well. I tried it the first time I played it. the first session I played a couple of rounds, and plus the training, of course. And I wasn't fine. At first, it was just like there was all this over the weekend with big content creators coming out talking about how the game is amazing. They've played it during the weekend or rather before the weekend in a preview event that was organized by the developers. And the game is amazing. It's going to be the next big thing. Jeff Keighley was totally right, etc. So I'm just sitting there trying the game. I'm not finding whatever this is. Then I go again for a second session the next day. Once again, I'm not enjoying it, so I quit early. The next day, I try it again. Same thing. I've been trying to give it a chance, give it a chance, give it a chance, trying to be fair. But it's just something is just missing. I think the modes are, you got one mode, it's 3v3, and the maps are big, so action happens very few and far between. There's also been people who have been struggling to even get into matches because if there's not six players, the match doesn't go forward. Everybody gets kicked out, and there's been people who get into these matches. The timer runs out. There's not enough players. Then they go again. They go for another match. The same thing happens again, like times and times in a row. There's been streamers documenting this. It only happened to me once, and then there's a big drama online, right? Since there was already a lot of distaste for the game since December, since the TGA trailer. Uh, Now there's a lot of like game journalists and etc. just saying that this is needless hatred being put out for the game. Review bombs just because people want to be negative for the sake of being negative. But the game is just not standing out. Like it's free, you guys can play it yourselves to give it a try, but it feels like it's trying to do way too many things at the same time. It has mechanics from, for example, Fortnite. It's got mechanics from Rainbow Six Siege. It's got mechanics from Apex Legends. um and this says, oh, NPC problems. For example, if you're using a mouse, the game feels like it's more geared towards being a controller game. So that's also got a lot of people who play shooters on PC feeling pissed off because it's a shooter, but you can't play it like a shooter. And that's pretty much been my experience as well. Like something feels off, and I'm usually not very good at wording it unless I sit down to script a video and really think about it, because I don't play competitive games very often. What I do know is that, for instance, I gave Arc Raiders a chance. Last year, Arc Raiders went pretty big. Everybody started playing the game, and it did land for me. I enjoyed it. I stuck with it, played it for like 50 hours or so, every now and then, like every day, playing a little bit, then the next day, then the next day. And I enjoyed it. But this one, I just want to uninstall it already. I haven't uninstalled it yet because I haven't made a video, but I'm getting close.
Okay, so basically, what you're saying is that the game is a huge mishmash of everything under the sun, and that's why it doesn't hit at all and basically feels empty with no substance and another copy paste from everything else combined into one. Is that correct?
Yeah, with a lot of hype coming in behind it. And I don't think the hype helped it at all either.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Okay.
things that they can definitely improve. Like I think if they add instead of 3v3, if they add more players to the match, they tend to create more action, right? And so that might help it. But they also need to change other things. Like for instance, when you start a match, you're not supposed to go out and fight. You're supposed to first make sure that your walls are strengthened. Then you're supposed to head out and you ride your little horsey around to find garbage so that you can buy stuff at a market, or just looking for loot chests so that you can get weapons. Basically the whole Fortnite thing, right? You land and you go looking for weapons, and then there's a big main clash that happens when the sword drops. There's a sword that drops. You need the sword to break the enemy's shields. That's the first big clash. Then, after that big clash, whoever takes the sword is going to stick the sword into the barrier and then attack the base. When that happens, things are, finally something's happening. But all the time beforehand, you're just galloping around collecting shit, and it's just out, and it's not fun. And then when the big battle happens, everything stops, everybody returns to their bases, and you do it again. So you once again you fix your walls, and then you ride around looking for shit, and then you wait for the next big clash when their sword drops.
Oh boy.
There's something is just not hitting, man. There's a flow that's not working.
Okay, that's enough for me. Got it. I'm not gonna play it. Let's go to Knight's Path. What do you think about that? This whole controversy with Knight's Path and the other game, 1348. Basically, two games that are medieval. The trailers came out at the same time. 1348 was actually shown a few months before that, but nobody cared. And now, all of a sudden, because both games were shown the same day, one developer of Knight's Path said that they're totally not interested in any modern agendas, and they're just gonna keep making their base games that is based on, historical, a bit fantasy setting, and the other game is just, crazy and still medieval because it's freaking woke, featuring a super ugly female character as a female knight, which never happens. So,
Mm.
December. And Kit, actually, are you familiar with this?
I'm a little bit familiar with it. I mean, I can't speak as a full on expert, so I'll follow you guys along. I've been following my own fair share of drama and other stuff, like in the political sphere, so I didn't have too much to bite my teeth into it. But I've been hearing that there's been some negative pushback. So what's going on with that?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna let Decembro further elaborate. So Decembro,
I
give it a
didn't
go.
I didn't even know that it had been already shown before the 1348 game,
Oh yes, it
the
was, yeah.
lesbian Italian game. I didn't even know that it was shown before. Yeah, just there's this game Knight's Path. It's a low fantasy RPG. You play it, it's you have third person. You got flashy combat. Well, not flashy, but quick. It's not like the Kingdom Come Deliverance, which is slower. So and it's inspired in the Holy Roman Empire. So, but it's fantasy. But it's low fantasy, so you do have a few items of fantasy in the game, but it's supposed to be rare. So these guys come out with this game. They start doing that little, doing that little promotion online, and at some point they release this picture of a very beautiful female character that you get to romance. I don't know if you saw that post.
Mm,
Oh yeah, I mean,
Well,
I did a video about it, did a stream about it. So yeah, of course. I mean, I don't know if kids saw it, but I'm gonna put it on the screen in a little bit.
okay, great.
that's basically where it all began. So a lot of people start coming in, they start talking shit because the character is unrealistic apparently, according to according to the standards. Then a little bit more dialogue, gets going, and they start answering some questions. One of the questions was if there was going to be any male characters for us to romance, so basically gay relationships. Initially the developers just said no. Then someone asked if there was going to be LGBTQ representation, and the developers answered with, we are not interested in modern agendas, just fun. And that's when everything, the shit hit the fan.
And
The
here's the
tweet gets
unrealistic female
millions of
character
views.
above my
Oh
head
God.
that looks very much like Melissa Benoist. Actually, compared the two when I made the video. She literally looks like Melissa Benoist that used to play Supergirl on the CW. They're very similar in
Yep.
features and everything. So this is super realistic and amazing and supernatural. People complain that she even had makeup, which she doesn't at all. That's ridiculous. But yeah,
Yeah.
continue December.
Just a very tame design, as you can see. It doesn't even have any exaggerated body proportions. We don't even get to see her body. But these people were attacking it, saying that it was unrealistic, and then using the narrative that the studio said, where they said, we're not interested in modern agendas, just fun. They said, well, this is a modern agenda because you're using, let me see if I remember the term correctly, modern beauty standards.
What?
So apparently, if you're just like a cute girl, just a natural looking girl, apparently apparently you don't exist. You are a modern beauty standard. And back in the day, medieval times, everybody was ugly as fucking sin,
Yeah,
Huh.
because they
according to
were
these
there
people.
and they know.
Like basically, if you want to make a medieval game, you gotta have a character that, a female character who is balding, potentially has a few scars, maybe on like not even scars, scabs. That's the word I was looking for. A few scabs. You gotta look that inside and outside. You gotta look maybe a little bit of poop on the face.
Oh my gosh. That's
That's how you
actually
design medieval characters,
That's
guys.
actually incorrect in terms of, well, literally historically incorrect. I watched many historical channels before that explain that people from the medieval ages tried to be clean and washed and they didn't look dirty and whatever. That's like nonsense. So,
Yep.
so yeah, basically those people are just uninformed like usual because all they have to go from or you know the positions that they are going further with their thinking, which doesn't exist, is basically their own insecurities and nothing else. So that is it.
It feels like a big game. It feels like they're not even coming at it from a factual basis. It's kind of like maybe the Wokies with female custodies. They will find anything at all that they can grab onto to try and justify their point of view, even
Yeah.
though it's completely unrealistic and just bullshit.
I mean, if they come
So,
to my country, they're going to see a lot of beautiful girls here, like a lot. So,
yeah,
are they going to say that they're not realistic, but they're walking on
it's
the
ironic,
streets?
isn't it? Isn't it ironic
Hmm.
how they usually use the argument of these people have never seen a real woman before? I think they are the ones who haven't seen real women before. They don't go outside or something. Like I go outside, take a walk, go to the mall, whatever. I see a lot of pretty girls walking around.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm. It's just interesting that you have these armchair generals who think that they know what the populace wants or know what because again, all art can be criticized and viewed by anyone because that's what art's supposed to be it video games, books, literatures, paintings, anything, right? Anything for form of entertainment. And if these people can't take the criticism from the consumer base, then you have no business in art. You have no business being here. If you can't deal with the fact that someone's going to give you criticism, be it heavy criticism, constructive criticism of any type or nature, or anything in between, get out. You don't you have no leg to stand on. And see, that's the thing. There's a lot of thin-skinned people out there, and I think everyone's assuming that they got the main character story and that they know better than anyone else, which is not the case at all. No.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
also want to destroy things.
yeah, by
Hmm.
this
Like they
point,
don't they
we
don't
are
understand
fighting
the
to
simple.
save beauty. That's what happens. We are just fighting to save normal things and beauty because they just hate beauty so much. They just can't stand the idea that
Yeah,
anybody can be beautiful because if they're ugly, they're gonna feel secure in themselves. But if other people are beautiful, they feel insecure, small, and insignificant. But that is their problem. They should work on themselves and become better and become more beautiful. But they don't have neither the willpower or even that mindset to develop the willpower to do that. I mean, everybody can
yep.
improve themselves.
Beauty is something that we should always strive for, I think. Even if you're not someone who is genetically gifted or whatever,
Hmm.
like you just there's always things that you can take to present yourself and to take care of yourself the best way possible. And these people they just hate it. They hate beauty in all contexts and forms. And when it comes to stuff like this with video games, it's just this inability to even even acknowledge just very basic reality. Like if you got a video game or whatever it may be, you don't want your characters to look bad. This
Agreed.
is
Yeah.
supposed to be a romance character. Why would you like? Of course, you can, to some extent, in a realistic lens, you can get over there to that character model, and you can totally fuck it up. You can, and you can say, oh, she got, I don't know, she got AIDS, medieval AIDS or something. She's cooked, whatever it may be, to
Why the
try and
heck
justify
you
why
would
she
do
looked
that?
so fucked up. You can do that, but why exactly? Why would you do that? And why would you deny the reality that some girls did look like this?
Yeah, I mean, well, Cleopatra, for example, wasn't actually beautiful based on all of her busts, but Nefertiti certainly wasn't. I mean, because, for example, because we do have this amazing bust of her, and exactly her and her pharaoh Akhenaten. they actually appreciated only realistic portrayals and statues of how they really look like. They didn't like the idealistic portrayal, and that is why Akhenaten was presented in these very ugly statues and whatever, because that is how he looked like. But Nefertiti was very beautiful, so they made her bust the way that she looked like, and that is
Hmm.
still here. We can still see her features, and it's amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, and if we also look back at like the ancient times, the idea of like hygiene and people and humans, and I'm gonna go on a stretch on this because there's probably people that will correct me on this, but the people of antiquity throughout timelines, and even though we're trying our best to recreate those eras through literature or movies or games, TV shows, whatever, they were just like us. They were. I mean, they knew if they smelled, they had to get rid of that smell and clean themselves up. They knew, that being attractive or looking fit is how you get a partner. They knew that, hey, I got to work, just so I can get some gold in my pocket to buy some food or bread or whatever the hell, I mean, they were just like us, saying that they were different or the standards were different or anything else. No, they were like us, except, we have more modern comforts. We have more luxuries at our fingertips that, they would be impressed by. It's just there's this inability of really just telling stories, portraying people, normal people, because I think for a long time, I guess the internet has created this concept that the extreme or identity is is the normal curvature, when in fact this is all just not really as potent as it once was. And so people need to get up on their game, or either that, just, I don't know, they keep on losing, then let them lose, let them keep on losing.
Yeah, also, what I've noticed is that people that usually look very unattractive and they want to stay that way because, again, they don't even know how to improve themselves. They don't have that thought in their head at all. And they just look down upon, beautiful people a lot. They have this high horse of super high self esteem for some reason, which is so contradictory to their super low IQ and I mean, it's not contradictory to the low IQ, but it is contradictory to their insecurities. So basically, they're like, well, you just woke up this way, or you're just this way, and I'm like, no, I have to work for that. I have to train. I have to, take care of my skin. I have to know what is what. Like, put sunscreen because if you don't, you're gonna make your skin age like 50% more. All of those things, like, you have to know so many things to sustain yourself and to actually look good every day of the week and
Hmm.
actually improve yourself as you age and not become worse. So there's so much knowledge and effort that goes into sustaining yourself and be beautiful every day. That's not just like poof, it just
Hmm.
happens. No, it doesn't happen. You have to know things, you have to want it, and you have to respect yourself, which they just don't know anything about. They don't know anything about respecting themselves or other people, so that's why they just want to push everybody down, and what we love, they want to push it down, they want to bully it, to
Hmm.
oblivion so they can feel good. And that is literally what bullies in school do all the time. They just want to push others so they can feel good about themselves.
Hmm. And that's the thing about a bully, a bully can be intimidating at first, but, and yes, they can be physically challenging too, but when you step up to them, when you're ready to really take them down an inch or call them out on their BS, they fold quickly. And of course, they'll do the one thing that bullies do best. They go to authority and be like, "No, I'm being pushed around," going to media, anything like that. But as soon as you take one down, they'll show you who they really are. They don't have heart. They don't have strength, because a bully thrives on weakness, and a bully thrives on their emotional feeding, knowing that they can psychologically break you, or know that they can make you act a certain way. Soon as you deny it to that person, watch that bully fall apart.
Yeah, also, if you ever get bullied in general, the one thing that you have to remember is that, well, if you're getting bullied, that means that you're better than the one who is trying to bully you, like a lot better. So you should know your strengths and, just don't let them push you around. Don't let them actually bully you because you're superior to them. Otherwise, they wouldn't bother, to bully you, definitely. So, the Zembro. What do you think about the other game, though? About the 1348, because it's so funny that we have another game that's medieval, but we see the opposite approach, and we have
Yeah,
a
it was
main
interesting
female
how they came at the
character.
same time.
That's also a freaking lesbian for reasons again, and she's also freaking ugly as hell. And somehow her girlfriend isn't in the trailer, if that's her girlfriend. So it's weird. It's so weird and confusing. It's kind of like the way people want the main character to be ugly and repulsive, but if they have a girlfriend, she maybe should be attractive because again, reasons. So yeah, what do you think?
Even then, when it comes to the other character, there is that thing where they're doing with both characters, where they're making them look kind of sickly or whatever. I don't know what's the best word to describe it. The main character, even at first glance, I thought it was a kid, like a dude, like I don't know, a 15-year-old or something like that.
Yeah, that's why I
Then I
wrote you
read
on
the
X.
thing,
Is
and it
that I thought that's a boy. That's why I wrote you that on X.
so that's why I
Yo,
thought you were just joking, but yeah,
No, no, I
because yeah,
wasn't.
it makes sense. Like it just yeah, that's the look that it kind of gives off. But then I read the caption and it said, "Oh, so you play as a female knight in Italy." And of course, it must be in
female.
1348.
Oh God.
Female.
Yep, and I actually wrote a comment, and I don't usually do this, but I wrote a comment. I don't, I can paraphrase it right now. I don't remember exactly my words at the time, but I pointed out these things about it. So you're playing with a female knight. The female knight looks like a dude who's like a 13-year-old boy who's malnourished. And you got a female character who is potentially the romance interest. So we got lesbians in Italy. Oh, and I also criticized that they sounded English, like with English accents instead of trying to go for something a little more authentic. But whatever. Um, and I don't usually do that kind of thing because I tend to wait for the game to come out or at least to have more information. And then I criticize whatever the game may have that might smell suspicious. But that game put so many red flags immediately on the trailer that I was like, oh, come on, guys. What the fuck? Come on, fellas. What are we doing here? Like, you're giving it to me way too easy. And the funny thing is, I normally wouldn't even care. Like, make whatever game you want as long as it's a new IP. It doesn't generally bother me. But then they started weaponizing this game against the other game with a pretty female character. And that's where you kind of lose me in regards to, you know, um basically starting a fight, which is what is created online. They started a fight, and then it became this thing where there's the side that wants Knight's Path to succeed, and then there's the side that wants the 1348 game to succeed, and both of them just started clashing with insults towards one another. And now we're here. And so far, the Knight's Path studio announced that they got 200,000 wish lists, so that's great news. um and I'm just waiting for the game to come out. But in terms of like, do I have like a thing where it's like, oh my god, fuck this game towards the other one? I don't really. I mean, it depends on the content that's going to be, and if it's so blatant like Dustborn was or something like that, I mean, sure, I'll roast it. But otherwise, it's one of those things where I don't care so long as you stay in your lane. But they're definitely not staying on their lane with this one.
Mm. Well, it's not the first time a company decides to gamble everything and lose. I mean, I hope they're able to recoup and maybe learn their lesson. But at the same time, too, if people are not going to be reasonable or rational, why negotiate? Why even give them any advice? Because there's a lot of scumbag people out there that think they know better. They have the big plan, but
That's
when they're
true. Yeah,
yeah,
it's one of those. No,
but
go
when
ahead.
but when their plan goes under, I think I'm kind of going in and out. I don't know why my screen's going black. Um,
No, we
but
see it. We see it. We see it.
it's me. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just it's rather for me. A lot of these developers are in the concept of they're expecting to win, and they refuse to have the mindset of losing. Whereas I look at anything that I'm involved in, and always have good positive vibes, but hey, be prepared for, hey, I could lose. This could blow up in my face. You have to humor that thought. Yeah, like, hey, I can lose if I don't do a good thing, if I don't really invest in my craft or myself or face off against my opponent, if I'm not smart with this, Jesus Christ, I could lose. And these developers, they don't want to consider that. Then fine, let them fail. We'll make fun of them, and then we move on to the next person.
Yeah. Well,
It
uh,
feels sometimes that we're held to a higher standard sometimes, where it's like if you complain about something because there's some kind of agenda in it or whatever, and of course, there's various arguments to use. Usually my videos go into 40, 50, 1 hour territory, so it is what it is. But there's this thing where it's like, you're supposed to take the higher road. But then again, these people, they usually don't take the high road at all. They always take the low road, and the values that they often use are, they use them against you, but they don't hold those values themselves.
yeah, exactly. They're absolute hypocrites. And I'm just gonna give one funny example now about such mindset. This is from a reality show, and it doesn't matter that it's from a reality show, just a very fun example. You know that they always pick crazy people for these shows, right? And
Hmm.
there's one really super fat woman that's supposed to be like a plus size model there. And she's super cruel to her husband. She's like all the time monitoring his phone, and doesn't allow him to talk to his family and stuff like that. Absolutely crazy controlling. She's a crazy controlling bitch, basically.
Hmm.
And uh, they're inviting in the show this guy's aunt. I mean, her husband's aunt, and she's saying like, "Hey, you're not allowing my freaking nephew to text me, to have a normal relationship with his family. What are you doing?" And she's like, "Okay, okay, 110%. I'm gonna allow that, eventually." But she's saying that with such a feeling of oh my gosh, I'm gonna throw up that I have to agree with these people. And after the show, she just storms out and she just leaves the whole stage, and she's like, I hate everything, we're gonna divorce, and everybody is so cruel to me, so bad to me, and all of that. So basically, long story short, they're saying to her that she's doing horrible things, and she's being like a huge pain in the ass for everybody that know her, and she's treating her husband like a trash bag. But what she
Wow.
took from all of this was that she's the victim, everybody are against her, and oh no, the world and all people hate me and all those things. I'm like, you don't understand what you're doing to everybody else that are next to you. You're so freaking toxic. You can definitely use the word toxic properly in this case, because those people like her that are, well, in this case, also a plus size model, that think that that's great. She thinks that that's super healthy and awesome, and she thinks that she can treat her husband horribly because he's a man and she is right, and whatever he says, it's not valid. She's invalidating his feelings, and anything that he says just is not valid. It's all about her, and her. It's like me, 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 me. I'm like, wow, how is she existing? It must be so miserable to be such a horrible person towards yourself and others, because this is eating her up. This is destroying her as well. So that is how all woke people are in their lives, and it is destructive. It is toxic, disgusting, really, and it's destructive to them and to everybody else. They want everybody to be miserable while they're also being miserable. For them,
Yeah.
this is better than getting better and learning how to be the best person that they could be and not be a blight to all humanity.
I've had my fair share of running with people like that, and see, they come in all shapes and sizes and affiliation, which and just when you have a person that claims to care about issues or social issues, or they sit upon a high throne judging people. They like to yell and complain, harass and bully, but when they have to do the work, they're gone. You don't see them around because they can't improve themselves because somewhere along the line they were they either learned to hate themselves or somebody who was raising them made them think mentally like, oh, I am horrible, but I can make other people horrible too. It's like passing the trauma along. And the one way to face trauma is one, getting help, and two, overcoming your own personal demons. And, some people lack the will to realize that they don't have what it takes. Hello?
Yeah,
Oh.
anything to add, December?
Oh, sorry, my mic was muted. No, no, I agree. It's there's definitely, but I agree with the what Kid said there, and I think that there's definitely like correlation with people who are, who lean towards that sort of ideological side when it comes to wokeness. I think there's some correlation with some of those qualities that you guys mentioned, because and there's also a lot of disingenuous, because you can see it in the arguments that they use whenever they're trying to take something away from you. And if you look at some examples of certain things that even game developers have said over time, which since I make the videos that I make, I tend to collect receipts, evidence of this and that, so that I can then use to strengthen my arguments. And there's a lot of people who just straight up even hate their own fan bases. They have this ugliness to them
Oh, yeah.
where they don't even like what they're working on, which was
Hmm.
Yeah,
kind of what I was trying to get at with the 40k situation. Like they don't like even the fans that they're making content for,
Hmm.
and they just want to like fuck you with it. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna screw up what you like, and I'm going to be happy. It doesn't even matter if they make money. A lot of these consultant groups and etc., they get their money externally anyway, or they get their money up front before they screw the game. So they don't even care about the success of the product. They only care about making you miserable.
yeah,
Yep.
totally. Okay, guys, we have like a few minutes for the last thing actually that maybe you don't know about. So let me show you. We have first images of Henry Cavill as the Highlander. Woohoo!
Hey.
Mm.
That is so cool. That's official from Henry Cavill's Facebook as well. I'm gonna show you the second image. There are only two images. So finally, this movie is actually real, and we're gonna see it. I'm just gonna like woo make this picture as big as possible, and I'm so happy that he's not with his long hair that he has now, because that thing looks so ugly on him. It's just horrible. He looks like Einstein if Einstein was kind of handsome but also exploded from the inside out. I just don't like how he looks like with the long curly hair, just not for his face type. But this looks pretty good. I'm not sure if he's Duncan MacLeod or any other MacLeod from the same clan, but
Hmm.
that's pretty cool, man. I want something like that
I
finally with Henry. So
well,
yeah.
I'm glad that he's doing something he loves, and just like with The Witcher, he's probably going to give it a lot of respect and all of his power and talent that he has towards The Witcher. So good on him. I mean, I wish him nothing but the best after all the BS that he's gone through from so many people trying to cancel or censor or suppress him, or just the very fact that you had the writers for the Witcher. You know, make fun of him too, or he's at like glad he's like, hey, there's a reason why that series went under is because the actor who gave a damn, the actor who knows about the lore, left, and they were so lucky that they had him as a protagonist for the at least the first two seasons. I mean, he cared until he made him not care anymore. So all the best to you, Henry. An off chance, hey, hire me on as an extra for your Warhammer 40k project. I'd be more than happy to be part of that.
Oh yeah,
Probably go to that. There you go. I
absolutely. He can
want to be a
hire me
guardian.
while he's at it. So
Yes,
yeah. Hey,
exactly.
December. December, have
Yeah.
you seen
Hmm.
any of the Highlander movies or the TV show back in the day?
No, sadly, no. You guys gotta send me some stuff for me to watch, some recommendations, man.
Oh boy, well the TV show was pretty good, and the movies I
I only
don't
watched like
remember.
stuff on Fox.
I'm not sure. Well, maybe you should watch some of
Basically,
the
like
movies.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Bones, Lost, Smallville,
Okay.
um, shit, stuff from Fox. A lot of Simpsons and Family Guy cartoons. Uh, police TV shows. That's basically all that I watch because I'd be playing video games and then I had on the TV next to me with Fox on, and that's pretty much most of what I watched. Outside of a few other things that I checked out myself when I heard from friends, but I got like the internet very late, so when it comes to like getting into the zeitgeist of stuff, I didn't get into it very much at that age.
Well, pretty much, this is a pretty cool story. There has been maybe two movies. I'm not sure. Logan is not here to tell me, but there's a pretty big movie with Christophe Lambert and the TV show with I forgot his name. But the point is, this is a pretty cool lore. The whole thing is about immortal people that fight each other to the death, and only one should remain. And they all
Mm,
fight with swords only, and the winner has to cut the other guy's head basically. And
Hmm.
the clan
yeah.
that is like the most powerful clan is the MacLeods, and there's one McLeod guy in the Christophe Lambert's movie, and there's another in the TV show, and they meet as well somewhere, and it's just it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool because, like for example, with the TV show, you have one super powerful guy that comes to our guy Duncan McLeod, and he has to defeat him. And when the Highlander defeats someone, he becomes more powerful and more powerful. So if he faces someone that killed a lot of immortals like that, he will be like so freaking powerful. And if he can kill him, that he's gonna become so. So yeah, it's pretty cool, but it has not been adopted for so many years now. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was just listening to that and thinking even a video game would be awesome like that.
Yeah,
Well, I
exactly.
mean, yeah, just gotta get a developer that cares,
Yeah,
story
that, and
writers.
that's the
You know,
hardest part
yeah,
now.
yeah. You have to get people who care, and if that's the thing. Like any intellectual, like for example, if any one of us were to create a series, and it becomes a success, or everyone wants to jump on it, I think the one major thing is, and this is where you got to lawyer up. Make sure you have clauses in there like, hey, there's no deviation from this. There's no argument about like it's really about protecting a story because when you have a creative person, or you have somebody create something, it's imperative to try and keep it alive. And so it's a goose that keeps on spouting out golden eggs, not shite. All right. You want to have a golden goose making golden eggs. You don't want to have a shite goose spouting out shite. I mean, that's the thing. So finding a person who cares, it's finding now. It's like a needle in a haystack. Good luck if you find one.
Yeah, and welcome, Mr. Hardcore Mode. You came right into the end. But notice, maybe I've seen a little bit of it, but I'm not sure. I watched so many shows. But Highlander is one of those things that you just have to have something, and yeah, it's a great idea for a game as well. It's just a property that needs a lot more attention, but it didn't get a lot of attention. We don't have anything modern, so we do need that. Henry is just perfect for a Highlander. And yes, Henry has a Custodes army just like me. Yes, that's also his favorite faction in Warhammer, so he's probably not happy about this change, for sure.
I'm pretty sure he's pissed off, and rightfully so. And I think you know, I hope we hear more people be vocal about it. That's why I got the Black Templar behind me. They're on a crusade to purge the mutants.
Oh yeah, and I'm not sure who these characters are, Martin, but he says he checked that Batista is playing Kurgan and Russell Crowe is Ramirez. Ramirez? I'm not sure who those guys are. I will need to refresh my Highlander lore. I'm just gonna poke Logan. Be like, hey Logan, tell me about this, you know? You know it better than me. Just go, go, go. Um,
I'll check some of it out as well.
oh
Hmm.
yeah.
Anything that Henkerville is trying to make, I'm always interested because you can tell that he cares. It's just the people around him that usually turn everything into shit.
Yeah, he's probably gonna sign into projects that he approves of. So hopefully this is great. He now has a lot more say in general and what he gets to pick. So it's not like he just has to take this because he needs a job. He's gonna be. I mean, he is so busy with Warhammer as it is, and he has all creative control there, which is great. So we have a lot to look forward to. And Martin says Ramirez is Connor's teacher. Okay, now I really have to remember the lore. and whatever that was. And maybe I should rewatch the movie if I have time ever. Maybe I can do actually, watch with you guys, which I'm doing on the
Mm,
gaming channel. That's gonna be so cool. We watched for the first time Princess Bride, and it was pretty refreshing experience because you're watching the movie with us on Discord, and we are watching it on stream. Obviously, I can't show the movie on stream, but it's still a joint experience. You see what we see at the same time, so it's pretty cool. Kenny Cavill is Connor. Okay, is he Connor? Connor McLeod? Is he McLeod at all? I don't know. Yeah, it's an awesome movie. Yes, actually, the director died like a few months ago. Oh boy. Okay, guys. So this is gonna be it. We covered a lot. It's very late here, and you have to excuse me. Okay, I've stopped editing the comments, guys. Uh, you know, my co-host couldn't come here to read the comments, and I'm going to smack him tomorrow about that.
good.
Not for real. So, Kit and Decembro, thank you so much for coming. I hope that you had
Always.
fun. Please share the
I did.
stream everywhere that you can. I'm gonna cut it tomorrow when it becomes available. When YouTube processes it, I have to cut it so you don't see the beginning and all those things that are annoying.
Right.
So yeah, let's see if we can rate someone actually real quick. And then we're gonna go. Is anybody live that can benefit from this? No. Okay, then we're just gonna go and sleep. So and get
I'm,
this.
I'm gonna make some dinner. I'm gonna make some dinner or
Yeah,
early dinner.
You're in the
make
middle
some.
of your thing.
There you go.
I need some dinner too.
All right, sounds like
Okay,
a plan,
guys.
brother.
Love
And
it.
then I'm going to hate myself and play high guard.
Good.
Okay, then just try not to develop a tummy on of your age because it's a pity if such a young man like you has a tummy.
Mm.
Just saying, just saying. Don't become an uncle. That's what we say in Bulgaria. Uncle Bob. Okay, okay, guys. Love it. Until next time with me, the 40k Empress and Kit and Decembro. Check their channel, guys. Check their channels. Love it. Bye bye.
Bye, chat.
Take care.
The 40k Empress leads the way as warriors of the imperium sway into realms where dangers play, where hidden minds hold sway. Through stars and storms we rise, under her watchful eyes, with faith and fire will prevail, for the imperium must not fail. For the imperium we prevail. Beneath the grand cathedral spires, plots twist like smoldering fires, but with her blade of pure desire, she claims the stars entire. Through stars and storms we rise, under her watchful eyes, with faith and fire will prevail, for the imperium must not fail. The imperium we prevail. Through storms and battle cries, her banners pierce the darkened skies. With bolter hymns the traitor dies, as loyal warriors arise. Saints and psychers bend the flame, every world speaks her name. The Empress rules without shame, as war she does reclaim. Through stars and storms we rise, under her watchful Their purpose burning crystal bright, to lift the throne world from its plight and guard humanity's light.